Hi, my name is Sharma, and I do some of the behind-the-scenes work here at Taxevity. Today we have a very interesting guest. My grandfather, or Dadaji in Hindi, will be giving us his outlook on his journey from India to Canada and the life lessons he's learned along the way. So thank you for coming on, Dadaji. It's great to have you here. So, along your journey, what have you learned, and would you care to describe your journey to us?
Okay. Well, I got my basic education from grade 1 up to my master's in physics. And I was working in Electronic Research Institute in India. And I had the temptation to come and get some higher education. So I applied at few places in Canada and America and Germany. So I got admission from two places, from Germany and Canada. And because the language problem in Germany would be to first learn the language and then do the higher studies. So I decided to come to Canada. And Pramod was with us, so three of us. We came here, and at that time the regulation for Government of India were very strict. They will only allow you to leave country with only $8. So three of us, we got $24, and our luggage, I think 2 suitcases and 1 handbag, was about 30 pounds total. So we entered Alberta, and on our way in the airplane there was an announcement made that instead of going to Edmonton, the plane, because of the bad weather condition, will be landed in Gander. So our first entry into Canada was at Gander in, I think it is in Nova Scotia. And when we came out of the airplane, we had showed our papers and everything, and fortunately we found somebody from the University of Alberta who, I think he was the registrar or somebody in a high position. He said, "Oh, you are going there, and I'm also going there." So he gave us some help, how to go from one place to another, and we ended up in a residence in University of Alberta. So it was called University of Alberta, Edmonton. And then we stayed for about 2.5 or 3 years. And I completed my master's in physics, and then was planning to look for a job. And somebody told me there, one of my friends, that Ontario is a good place. So we came to London, and there I took one summer course, and I got a job in Waterford. So at that time Pramod was in grade 1 or 2. We lived in an apartment, and the rent at that time was $30 a month. You could buy butter for 49 cents. And the price of the peanut and the almond was same. I think about 30 cents a pound or something. But as of now, the price difference in the two is the peanut is about $1 a pound, whereas the almond is about $5 a pound. So prices have jumped 5 times. So I got a job in Waterford, and I taught there for 1 year. After that, I looked into the paper. There was a job opening in London, Ontario, at Regina Mundi. So I applied there, and for interview I had to come to Toronto, because all the teachers who were looking for a job, they had Royal something, some hotel was there. Royal Hotel, maybe.
Royal York Hotel.
Royal York Hotel. That's where they had about 60, 70 booths. Teachers from different board of education were there, and it's like a shop, you can.
Right.
So I just had an interview at Regina Mandi principal, and he said, okay, we are hiring you. And before that I went to one place where they were looking for a physics teacher. So he said, okay. Then I went to, didn't say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the Regina Mandi, and then the principal said that, all right, we will hire you. And he told me that you are already teaching in Waterford, so you can resign from there and we will send you a contract.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was teaching at Waterford, then he said, we will give you the information very soon. And about a month passed and there was no response. So I was a little concerned that I have already resigned from this Waterford school and I haven't received anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, don't worry about it. When we have said yes, we will.
Mm-hmm.
So the principal of Regina Mandi and his colleague,
Mm-hmm.
they said, why don't you come to Waterford? I said, I have no car. And he said, okay, we will come to Waterford. So they both came to Waterford,
Mm-hmm.
and with the appointment and all that. And so I didn't know that he was a priest.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him that, how many children do you have?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I have 125 children. Because they don't get married, So he said, okay, we will send you the contract. And I stayed in the Regina Mandi for about 25 years,
Wow.
teaching both physics and math. And then I thought that because I was in two different departments, I had to attend meeting of this department and that department, so I withdrew myself from math. It was exclusively in the science department then. And after that one, then after 25 years, I got a letter from Catholic Central Board. They said that you since belong to the same board, we will transfer you to Catholic Central High School in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So last 5 years of my teaching, I taught for 30 years in education. So last 5 years I went to Catholic Central and taught there. And then at the age of 60, I retired. So that included 30 years of experience. And since then I get 60% pension, because pension is 2% times the service years. So with my 60%, I thought that is good enough, we have only 3 of us. So, and since then I just retired from education field, and I have been busy I did not pick up any other job, just had a meditation and walking and read some books about how to meditate and all those kind of things. So I am quite happy with my attitude towards life.
Mm-hmm.
And by nature I feel satisfied, contented with my life. And then Pramod got married. So, and afterward the Jivan came in, I think after about 7 years or so. So, and now we have a family of 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
We live in London, that's where I retired, and Pramod moved to Toronto. Pramod got his basic education in Waterford for a few years, then in London up to high school. He also got a scholarship from London Life for his marks. And then he worked in Ottawa and finally settled down in Toronto. And he is a very happy fellow with a satisfied, contented, and well, what more can I say? That Everything is.
Well, that's a very good story, Dadaji. I think we learned a lot about you from that. And, you've had a lot of experience both raising kids and teaching kids. So, if you had a message for young people today about how they should go about their education or their lives, what would that be?
With all the spiritual material that I have read, but these days I am reading book by Deepak Chopra. He has the Indian philosophy, his Indian thoughts of mind. So based on my experience and reading from other books, I have come to the conclusion that whatever field you go into, you should be contented with it. Do the best you can. As Gita says, do your best, but don't expect the results. You can only work up to the working stage, but the result depends on the hand of God. For example, a farmer puts seed in the ground and he fertilizes it and so on, then he has to depend on God for rain to come in. If it doesn't come, it just doesn't come. You have to. So do your best, perform well, but what result will be the outcome? There are so many factors involved into it, like the family situation and financial situation and so on. So there is not one factor that produces the result. Result comes from so many other different factors come to. So do the best you can and be happy with whatever you come. Leave it to the result to the God. So why worry about it? And just do your best and leave it to God.
Right. And that's very good advice. And what would your advice about money, what would that be? For example, should you look to accumulate as much money as possible, or?
Okay, money is such a thing which is needed by everybody. But the difference between two people having money is that one doesn't know how much is enough for their family survival, whereas the other has fear that the money that I have accumulated so far is not enough. We assume that we are going to live forever. We are not going to die. Quite often when we go to somebody's funeral, as we are there, we feel so bad, he was a very good fellow and he died and all that. But after the function is over, then we come back and then we are talking about the same thing, business and all that. It means our feeling has not sunk into our heart. So whatever money you earn, like in my case, I have good pension as a retired teacher. Our expenses are very low. Our standard of living is medium. We don't waste on anything. We feel that to conserve energy is our right. We should not waste anything, like drying the clothes and all that thing. The electrical rates, there are 3 different categories: high cost, medium cost and low cost. So for Saturday, Sunday, the cost of electricity is low, so that is the day we do our washing. Instead of using half a load, we use one full load after double the time. So basically I just wash twice a month or once every 2 weeks. A full load, if you have a complete set of clothing, then. So don't waste anything. Whatever you have, the money just like a pond. It should keep flowing, only then it remains fresh. If you leave the water, it starts stinking if it doesn't flow. So whatever your saving is, keep it for yourself, whatever you think you need. And don't say that I'm doing 100 or 1,000 a year and keep on accumulating and not even know what to do with it. Because that also can be a tension. If you have so much money, you don't know what to do, you start worrying about it. And you don't want to give it to anybody else either. So you are just accumulating and the problem keeps on increasing. So let it go, because we came empty-handed and we are going to go empty-handed. So why not put this money to a good use?
So you mean give it to charities or start that sort of a charitable cause?
Exactly. Like in our family, that's what we are doing. We, family of 5 people, we are reasonably charitable. We are running a school for handicapped children. A school in my mother's birthplace called Palwal. I was born in Gurgaon, which is Haryana, and Palwal is also in Haryana. And we are running a school for there are 3 categories. One is for the handicapped children, one is for the sewing classes for the girls, and another is the beauty parlor. And we are hiring 1 or 2 more teachers to help the handicapped children how to speak and use the sign language and all those kind of things. And we are financing it. Basically, all the building has been 100% contributed by us, by our savings. 100%. It is a 3-story building. And there are about 5 staff members now. We are, whatever is the expense, most of it, I would say 80% comes from our side, from our family, and 20% we collect. We have only one teacher who is in charge of the whole system. He goes from place to collect some donation, and whatever 20% he can collect, he puts in that. And I am in contact with him all the time. He says that, okay, our enrollment has increased and we want to have more furniture. So we provide the money for him. I am financially connected with him. I send the money from here to that institution and they will buy the furniture. So by the grace of God, the school is also in the name of my mother or your grandmother. So it is her blessing. I keep telling that person who is running the school, his name is Sanjay, that it is our blessing from the mother that we are able to sustain all this. We had a lot of opposition from it. Before I stepped into this one, there was a board which was operated by rich people, and their goal was to just call some big ministers and so on and try to show their face that, see, we are the one who are running the whole thing.
Right.
So ultimately, all of those have been removed. We set up a new board, and now we have only the people who are genuinely interested, but only 2 of us are doing the financial part of it. So the school is running well, and with all the saving that we have, and I think by the grace of the mother, it will go on forever. So the grace to be able to put your money for flowing into a good cause grace comes from God. In our case, our mother just sent us the signal that start a school. So the school is in my mother's name, Savitri Devi School. And school is running well, and the students, everything is free. The children, and once in a while they also have parties and all those. The children are happy. So we have been visiting for about few years every year. But this year when he told me, when are you coming to India, I said, I am not coming. Because I spent 50,000 rupees for my air ticket. I will rather use this money to support the children. And my coming there doesn't do anything. Whatever you want, I am available. We are well connected. So I will not be going basically to India and using that money to support the children.
Okay, well, thank you, Dadaji. You've had some very good thoughts, and we've learned a lot from you. So I'd just like to thank you, and see you. Okay.
Thanks for joining us for Tea at Taxevity. The Taxevity Insurance Advisory helps you understand insurance and bridges gaps in your coverage. There's no premium for peace of mind. How healthy is your insurance?